the date. And it is a Monday. Let's practice writing the word Monday. Today what we need to review is our spelling words. And after we review the spelling words, I'm going to give you your spelling quiz from the words from last week. Now, if you didn't study for your spelling quiz words last week, that's okay. You can try anyway when it's time. But first what we're going to do is we are going to talk about the hungry vowels. Remember that these letters we put in this order, not because of where they appear in the alphabet, because that would be wrong, but because of the sounds they say. This I, when it's a short vowel, it says I. This E says eh. This A says ah. This U says and the O says aw, like octopus. Now, in order for it to keep its short vowel sound, when extra letters are put around it, it has to take an extra consonant. So, even though we could spell the word stiff like this, in English, that short I needs an extra F in order for it to stay short. So it becomes this spelling. You're going to write this with me on your piece of paper or in your composition book. Here's another one. Maybe you can guess what this word is going to be. Fluff. But that's not how we spell fluff in the English language. We add an extra F. So this is a hungry U. It takes extra Fs. So there are many hungry consonants, and F is one of them. The next hungry consonant is S. So there are lots of words that like to have double F and then double S. So here's a double S word. We could say that this is the word press, but this is how it is spelled. And the same thing with a word that rhymes. You can see that E works well with double S. But so does I, because this mess could become miss. There's another two sounds. They're not the same letter. We've done this before. Maybe you'll remember. These two letters also add themselves after a short vowel sound. And it's tricky to remember which ones are CK words and which ones are just K or C. So, here's an example. We could say that this is the word back, because A says A and K says K. If we added an E, guess what it would become? Bake. But we're not going to add an E, we're going to add the C. Because this is the word back. This is how we spell it. That A with the K needs to have its consonant friend to make it back with a K. It's too easy to turn this into something else if it doesn't have this consonant friend with it. Here's another example. We could say that that is the word tack, but this is how we spell it. Tack. And here is another one. Now, this set of letters is a special sound that sometimes says ch, and sometimes when you add a T to it, it says ch, and you can sort of hear the T in there. So this word is confusing because some people will say that this is the word Bach, And that's actually someone's name. I think some students probably know this person's name. But it's not the word Bach, it's batch, because we can hear that ch sound in there. Batch. But the real spelling for batch is, and we talked about this in 2nd grade, batch. It's a TCH hungry vowel. And the same thing with this one. You could say that this is the word catch, but this is how we spell it. Catch. Now I'm writing kind of fast, so you can decide if you want to pause the video and catch up to my writing. That is just fine. And here's one more with an I. This sounds like ditch, but we need that T in there for the proper spelling. Ditch. There we go. Now, there is another set of consonants that likes to be added to the short vowel to help keep it short, and it's the DGE endings. So, we could say that this is the word leg. There's no way to make this leg into anything other than leg. But if we add the DGE, we get ledge. And you can hear it in there. And then there's another one that rhymes with ledge, and it's badge. And fudge. And dodge. All these vowels, they keep their short vowel sounds. A, e, and ah. Now comes the next set of consonants that stay together to protect that short vowel, and it's the double L. So we could say that this word is fill, and that's exactly what it would sound like if we pronounced it phonetically. But we have to add the double L, because this is how we spell the word fill in English. And then similarly with this word. It says sell, but we always add the double L with those short vowels. There are some exceptions. And then one more. Is the double L pull. Now the one thing that's hard with the double L is the O sound. There are very few short O double L words. This is the spelling of the word doll. It takes its double L. But there are very few other words. One of them is actually this funny word. And even though it seems like it's misspelled, this is the name for something that I'm going to tell you a story about. And it says ball, like O says aw, ball. But it's not the thing you bounce. That's a different ball. Now you can see that sometimes when we add the double L, we make a word that sounds like one that we spell, that we might spell this way. This is hall. That's not how we spell the thing in our house that we can walk down. But we could add a Y to that and make it holly. But that's just an example of how it changes. So there's still the double L, even though hall this way, the spelling this way isn't a word, holly is. We're not going to use that as one of our vocabulary words for this week. Now, the only other vowel that we haven't explored that might have a double ending is the A vowel, that short A. Short A says its name when you add an E to it, but it stays short only occasionally with double endings. Almost all of these words that you might recognize now as the spelling for the thing you bounce, the thing you can walk down inside a house or a building, ball, hall, the thing you put inside houses to protect you from the weather, walls. All these words, this A sound is not ah. It's not bal, hal, or wal, although we could say it that way. It isn't said that way. So this is the exception to that double L rule. All those A's. There's very few A's, when we're not going to worry about them today, that actually stay ah when you add a double at the end. It works up here for the double F,